prayer, all things here below vanish, and nothing seems important but holiness of heart and the salvation of others. In prayer, all my worldly cares, fears, anxieties disappear and are of as little significance as a puff of wind. In prayer, I am lifted above the frowns and flatteries of life and taste heavenly joys. I can give myself to you with all my heart, to be yours forever. In prayer, I can place all my concerns in your hands, to be entirely at your disposal, having no will or interest of my own. Help me to be all prayer and never to cease praying. Hello, friend. I just finished a beautiful morning with my newborn on the back porch, and now me and the girls are getting started on getting settled into this new Airbnb that we're in for the next few weeks. As you can see, we are working on finding a place for all of the items that we have brought. We have really tried to not bring too much along the way as we are moving quite often, but we actually have seen a need to minimize more and more the longer this journey has gone on. And so I am going to be boxing up some things, and we're going to work on just really downsizing even more. We have to bring my husband's work things, and we're just trying not to be wasteful, but there is such a balance in not being a pack rat and not being wasteful. So we are trying to succeed in that endeavor, but we are just learning as we go. If you are new here, I'm April, and I am a blessed mama to 10 kids. I got married 19 years ago when I was 19 years old, and our family is actually on a journey this summer to find a new home. We are choosing our destinations based on churches that we would like to visit. And once we determine that, we hope to settle down for a little bit and see what the Lord has for us in the next chapter. So while the kids and I tidy up and find places for things, I thought I would talk to you about how I find time to pray for my children. This is something that I have strived to be consistent about, but that has not always been easy, especially depending on the season. And obviously, my number of children has increased, but the Lord has certainly helped me along the way. What I started doing was basically running the roster. I will start with the oldest child and just pray about the first thing that comes to mind for that child. And it will often be just a few sentences, but if I do that frequently, that turns into many, many prayers for each child. And I have seen the Lord answer those prayers very quickly at times. I pray for different things, sometimes very specific, sometimes very broad things. I might just say, Lord, grant this child contentment, or I often pray for obedience for the younger ones. I try to study them and determine what it is that they need me to pray for. Some children struggle more with anger, and I ask God to replace their anger with joy. Now, I also will do bulk prayers that I have for every child, that they would grow in faith, that they would grow in the grace and knowledge of the Lord, and that they would find godly spouses one day, if that is God's will for them to marry. So that can be really helpful to think about, is remembering that your prayers for your children are often very similar, so you can pray for all of them at the same time. And then when you are thinking about them individually, you can say many short prayers all throughout the day, whatever comes to mind. Run the roster for your children. It can literally be one word per child sometimes, if that is all you have time for, and that will easily grow into more and more prayers. You can literally say, Lord, grant this child peace, joy, obedience, help them to grow in responsibility, bring them a good, godly friend, help them grow in faith. This can be very quick, and a child who has a praying parent is such a blessed child. I had a recent video about praying all day and how God has given us so much opportunity for prayer as homemakers. We can pray as we do the laundry, we can pray as we are organizing, even during homeschooling, when we are sitting with our children, helping them as needed with their schooling, we can be praying. And another way that God has really blessed me through prayer is He has written certain people on my heart, and I have found that to be such a special gift. I have prayed for people whom I have never met, and there was one person who I had been praying for about a year, and then God actually brought that person to me, and we met face to face, and I was just sort of beaming with joy meeting this person. But they had no idea that I had been praying for them for a year, but God brought the person into my life, and I saw the answered prayers that I had been praying. And something like that is just an indescribable gift. I cannot even explain, but I often pray for people who are friends of my friends, and I know that God has just brought them to me. He has written them on my heart, and He blesses me through that. So comment below with any of your prayer requests that you are comfortable with. I appreciate your presence here so much, and I will see you soon. Wow. Okay, nice hairstyle.
I wanted to be